Okay, we're going to start today lying in a child's pose. And you can choose whether you want the knees together or the knees apart. And you're going to stack your hands underneath your forehead. Bringing the elbows out to the side so that the neck feels long and relaxed. Bring your awareness to your breath. Inhaling up the back body and exhaling down the front. Feeling the body soften and release over your thighs. Letting the tailbone sink down to the earth. As your chest and forehead melt to the earth at the front. Thinking about what has brought you onto your mat today. What brings you back to your mat time and time again. And setting an intention for today's practice based on these thoughts. With the eyes softly closed, turn your internal gaze to the space between the eyebrows. And we'll practice 3 rounds of Brahmari breath. Inhaling through the nose, and then humming the air out for as long as your natural lung capacity allows. Keep the lips closed, but the jaw soft. Moving at your own pace. Taking a deep breath in. Holding for a moment and connecting into the sensation of your pranayama. Feeling the vibrating body, the releasing energy. From here, start to extend your arms forward. And then creepy crawly the fingers in front of you, sliding back through the sitting bones, feeling a full stretch all the way along the back body. Let your head relax down to the floor a little bit more. And then walking the hands slightly in, pressing them firmly into the mat, pushing hard to try and draw the sitting bones down towards the heels, rounding into your back. On your inhale breath, walking both arms over all the way to one side of the mat, stretching through your side torso. Returning to the center and over to the other side. Breathing into that side of the ribs, sliding hip and shoulder blade away from one another. Inhale, returning to center, and then lifting yourself up onto hands and knees in tabletop. Checking your alignment here, spreading the hands and fingers, drawing the knees underneath the hips, and then flow through a few rounds of cat-cow pose at your own pace. Moving the body and the breath in unison. Utilizing the full breath in the full movement. Feeling how the inhale expands and opens the front body, and how the exhale expands and opens the back body. On the inhale, come back to neutral spine. Make sure you're pointing your toes so the top of the feet are flat to the mat. We're going to move through the cat-cow again. Inhaling, cow pose. Exhaling, cat. Stay in cat. Inhale, knees up. So you're on the top of your feet. And exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, knees up. And exhale, knees down. Flow at your own pace now. One more round, and then you're going to lift up, knees off the floor, pressing into the top of the feet, round into your back, tuck your tailbone, and then slowly turn the toes over, sliding your hips all the way back towards downward facing dog. Let's heel toe the feet a few times here, stretching out the back of the legs. Lifting hips up and back. Relaxing into the neck, relaxing into the shoulders. Start to engage your bandhas. Mula bandha is the pelvic floor, and Uddiyana bandha, the lower belly. Lifting both heels up, bend your knees, slide your hips back, bringing your ribcage towards your thighs. Straighten the spine as much as you can, and then a little gentle lift and lower of your head. Turning the gaze from one side to the other underneath the shoulders. And then let's sink the heels down towards the floor, Walk your hands back towards your toes, so coming towards the back of the mat. Holding opposite elbows into ragdoll. Make sure your knees are soft and the torso is really surrendering here, completely letting go. Drop hands to the floor and gently roll yourself up, keeping chin tucked to chest, working heavily into the heels. Unraveling yourself little bit by little bit, taking it all the way up and hands overhead now into Tadahastasana. Hooking the thumbs above you, spread your fingers wide, and then draw the tips of the shoulder blades together and feel how that opens the heart center. On your inhale, reaching over to one side, gazing up towards the sky. Let's come back to the center and over to the other side. Inhaling back to center, bring the elbows into cactus. And again, drawing the tips of the shoulder blades in to open the heart. Hands come behind the back, interlocking fingers. Rolling shoulder blades tightly together. And then you're sliding the hands towards the heels, but at the same time lifting them away from the body. Keep the lower back in neutral. We're just trying to work into the upper chest. Lower your chin to your chest, and then start to forward fold by softening the knees and allowing the arms to hang heavily over the back body. Drop your hands to the floor and then walk yourself forward into a plank pose. Rounding the back now between the shoulder blades and engaging into the lower belly. We're going to hold here for a count of 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. And last breath, inhale, exhale to lower yourself down, knees, chest and chin. Holding into this full body mudra, lift the hips here, slide the elbows into the rib cage, engage into lower belly. We're going to come back into plank, inhale to straighten arms and exhale to straighten legs, back into plank. Let's lower knees, chest and chin again. Exhale. And this time slide down onto the tummy, reaching the hands forward, hooking your thumbs, and then lifting up arms and chest. Keep the legs on the mat. Breathing here. Inhale, open your elbows out to the sides, and then reach the fingers back towards the toes, lifting the heart a bit more. Make sure your neck is in neutral space. Exhale the hands down to the mat, tuck the toes, and lifting yourself back into plank. Squeeze your thighs. Inhale up, and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing into your down dog. On your inhale breath, take your right leg to the sky. Let's roll the ankle a few times. Change the direction of the roll. And then as you exhale, knee to face, face to knee, rounding your upper back. Inhale the leg to the sky. Exhale the knee to the upper right arm, flexing that front foot. And inhale to lift up. Exhale to the upper right arm. And again, flex the foot, making contact at the front. Inhale to lift. Let's step the foot down into a lunge. Floating the chest as you sink the hips a little bit lower. Drop your back knee down to the mat and bringing hands up to the front thigh. Start to stretch into the torso, elongating the abdominal muscles as you lean back away from the thigh. No strain in your lumbar. Make sure that you're lifting and breathing into the space. Exhale the hands down to the mat and then lift your back knee up. Step forward, flat back. Weight on the front of the feet, very light under your heels. Exhale to forward fold. The knees can be soft or straight here, depending on what feels better for your body. Activate into the spine as your primary focus and your legs as secondary. Inhale the hands all the way up to the sky. Let's hook the thumbs here. Different thumb on top this time. Roll the shoulder blades back as you open up through the chest. Leaning over to one side. Gazing up towards the sky. Inhale to center and over to the other side. Inhale to center, bringing the elbows out into cactus, lifting through the chest. And then interlocking fingers behind you. Different finger on top for balance, rolling the shoulder blades together. Lowering chin to chest, stretching the back of the neck and traps. And then soften the knees as you forward fold. Dropping hands down to the floor, you can walk a step or hop yourself into plank. And then holding your plank for a count of 5. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale and lower down knees, chest and chin. Holding into this full body mudra. Lift into lower belly, wrap the elbows back, use your bandhas and your breath. Inhale, straighten arms, straighten legs. Let's lower down, knees, chest and chin again. And sliding down to the tummy, hands out in front. Different thumb hooking on top. Lifting up arms, chest, and this time also the legs. You don't have to lift too high. We're looking for extension rather than height. On your inhale, bring the elbows out to the sides and then all the way back with the fingers, lifting the chest a bit higher. Exhale the hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes, squeeze the knees, coming back through plank. And into downward facing dog. But take your time in your down dog. You can heel toe. You can rotate the hips. You can turn your neck from side to side, whatever feels good in the moment and what your body is asking for. Let's inhale the left leg up to the sky and rolling your ankle clockwise, rolling your ankle anti-clockwise. Exhale, knee to face, face to knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to upper right arm. Flex that foot. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to upper left or right arm, sorry. And inhale to lift. Sliding the foot forward into lunge. Sink the hips low, lift the chest high, squeeze your back leg. And just drop the back knee down as you slide your hands up, moving towards a crescent lunge. Starting to slide the hip flexors, opening up the chest. Keep lengthening the lumbar vertebrae. Exhale, bringing the hands down to the mat. Lift your back knee off the floor and then step yourself forward, flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, reaching hands all the way up. And exhaling, hands to heart. Finding your alignment. Let's inhale, hands up. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, stepping right leg into lunge. And then floating the hands to the sky, high lunge. Lift up out of the back hip. Inhale, warrior two. Opening the inner thighs. And then exhale to cartwheel the hands down, stepping yourself back into plank. Lowering knees, chest or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. And back into downward facing dog. Breathing into the space. Inhaling right leg to the sky and exhale the foot forward into lunge. Inhale, high lunge. And opening up, warrior two. Square the hips and slide the feet away. Let's exhale the hands down to the mat. Inhale, flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, hands all the way up. Coming straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, left leg back into lunge. And then floating hands up, high lunge. Opening up, warrior two. And then coming into reclining warrior, left hand down, right arm up. Cartwheeling hands to the mat, stepping back into plank. Moving through a vinyasa of your choice. Inhaling, left leg up. And stepping the foot forward into lunge. Inhale, high lunge. And opening up, Virabhadrasana B. Moving into reclining warrior. cartwheeling hands to the mat. Inhale, step forward, flat back. And exhale to forward folds. Inhale, Utkatasana, bending knees, taking hands up. Lifting into the arches of the foot, coming into neutral spine. See if you can sit a little bit lower. Inhale, hands together at the heart, and coming into a twist by bringing left elbow to the outer edge of the right thigh. Pressing your elbow into the thigh to twist the chest to the sky. Check that your knees are still in line with one another. Inhale to center, and then over to the other side. Reaching head and tailbone away from one another. Engage into those core muscles. Make sure the knees are not sliding together or apart, but staying parallel. Let's inhale to center, and exhale to forward folds. Lengthening into those thighs that worked quite hard in the chair pose. And then inhale, lifting halfway up. You're going to walk, step or hop yourself back into plank. And make your way through a vinyasa of your choice. Finding your way to downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky. Exhale to step the foot forward into lunge. And inhale, floating up, high lunge. Make some space into that back leg by lifting your heel up, lifting into the pubic bone. On the inhale breath, draw the hands behind you, interlocking fingers as you draw the shoulder blades together. Work this alignment and opening into the upper body, making sure there's no compression in the lower back. Let's start to lean slightly forward, not into a full humble warrior, but rather into a straight line from heel to head. Got to get the hips a little bit lower and try not to lean on the front thigh. You got to work this core to hold yourself up. From here, float the back foot off the floor into a bound warrior 3. You are very welcome to drop the hands to the floor, to your blocks, or take another arm alignment should that be more appropriate. We're going to make your way back into warrior 2 from here. So with much grace as you can muster, let's float the back foot down, cartwheeling the arms open into Virabhajasana B. Into reclining warrior. And then forward into Parsvakonasana. Remember to keep your back leg engaged in these postures, sliding heel away from head. If you'd like to bring your front hand to your ankle or the inside of the foot to the mat, feel free to do that. Make sure that you don't restrict your rib cage. You want to keep the rib cage rolling to the sky. Taking one more breath here, and then lower both hands to the inside of the foot, making our way into Skandasana here. So you turn both feet at a 45 degree, and then sit into your front leg as though you're coming into a squat in that front leg. Turn the back toes to face up to the sky, really strong into the back thigh. For some of you, the heel will come down on the front foot. For others, it will lift. Depends on what's happening in your Achilles tendon. Your hands can stay on the floor, or you can draw the hands together at the heart. Breathing deeply into this space. You're now going to release the hand back to the inside of that front foot and totally rotate yourself around so you're facing forward again into a wide lunge. So that right foot is now to the edge of the mat in a wide lunge. Let's drop the back knee down, and you can choose to either just walk your hands forward, holding into your lizard lunge here, or you can start to walk your hands down towards the mat, your elbows towards the mat. The lizard lunge is a very intense external hip opener. Make sure that you are moving with your body's energy, with your body's needs, and also your capability. Try not to force the body further than it's ready to go. Let's inhale, bringing the hands back up underneath the shoulders. I'm going to step the back foot forward into squat. So we're in our malasana now. Pressing the elbows to the insides of the knees. Lift the torso by sliding the tailbone down and reaching the crown of the head in the opposite direction. From here, hands to the floor, making your way into a forward fold by lifting the hips up, heel toe the feet, hip distance wide. Make your way into a flat back to get some length into the spine, and then coming into your forward folds, and maybe you'd like to interlock fingers around the big toes into Paschimottanasana. Whatever you've chosen, flick the tailbone to the sky. The knees can be soft or even deeply bent. As long as your engagement is primarily focused in the spine, the legs will come with time. Let's inhale to lift halfway up, flat back. And then we're making our way into chair pose again. So bending your knees, sweeping your hands up. Make sure you are in a neutral back in your chair pose. Sliding your hands behind you now, engaging into the triceps by lifting into those fingertips and then coming up onto the tips of the toes. Start to sit your hips a little bit lower, lifting the heels, lifting the fingers, neutral spine. Coming back into forward fold, heels down, hands down. And you're going to make your way through a vinyasa of your choice. Flat back to inhale, walk, step or hop into knees, chest or chaturanga. Cobra or up dog and downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in your down dog, or alternatively drop the knees to the floor for a few breaths in child's pose. When you are ready, lifting yourself back up, let's take the left leg to the sky and stepping it forward into high lunge. Finding space in your high lunge. We're lifting to the sky. The whole body is reaching up. Bringing the hands behind your back. Different finger on top for balance, and then rolling the shoulder blades together. Lift open the heart without compressing the back. Moving towards Superman pose, halfway down. Try to get your back in line with the back of your thigh. Strong through both front and back legs. We're going to float into Warrior 3, keeping the bind if that is available, or adjusting your arm alignment according to what works for you. Square the hips, kick your back heel away, reach your head forward. Making your way into Warrior 2, landing with as much grace as you can muster. Let's take it into reclining warrior. See if you can soften some of the energy here. Pivoting forward into Parsvakonasana. Moving stage by stage as the body allows. Into Skandasana, so both hands to the inside of the foot, turn the feet at a 45 degree, sit into your front leg. Flexing the back foot, that back knee is super strong. You can keep the hands on the floor or bring the hands to the heart. Release the hands to the inside of the foot. Rotate all the way around to face the front of your mat again. Heel toe the front foot out in your wide lunge. Dropping the back knee to the mat and making your way into your lizard lunge of choice. You can simply walk your hands forward. You can drop your elbows to a block, a cushion, or to the mat. From here, let's start to lift back up, hands under the shoulders, making your way into your Malasana now by stepping the back foot forward into the squat. And we've got two options here, so depending on how you're feeling today, you can either just keep working into your Malasana if you feel like this is where the body is happy to stay, or if you'd like to, we can start to work into our arm balance, Bakasana, which is the crow pose. You bring your hands flat and engage to fingertips. Step the feet in and then lift up onto the very tips of the toes. So you're getting your knees nice and high. Bend your elbows and then also wrap them in. That's very important. Wrapping them towards each other. Press the knees into the backs of the upper arms. And then leaning forward, open the shoulders, open the chest, turn your gaze forward. Maybe floating one toe off the floor, and maybe floating two. And you can just spend some time playing around here. So if you don't get it the first time or the second time or the third time, that really doesn't matter. We're just learning to build up upper body strength. Also learning to build up a bit of courage. This is a challenging pose mentally. Take it in hand. But just play around with it. When you are ready, you're going to make your way back into your downward facing dog. And breathing into the space. Round your back in a cat-like motion, coming forward into plank. And let's hold the plank for a little while. 5 breaths. Strong legs, strong glutes. If you need to bring the knees down, feel free, and then lift back up when you can. Coming all the way down to the mat, you can knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga to lie on your tummy. Just take a moment to breathe here, hands under the forehead. And then working into an aeroplane version of Shalambhasana. So you're going to open the feet quite wide. And you're going to bring the hands out to the sides. Forehead down. Press your pubic bone into the floor. And then inhale, lifting up arms, chest, and legs. This is quite a nice version of Shalambhasana. Very spacious into the upper body. Reducing strain in the neck and shoulders and allowing a bit more space to really lift that heart center open. One more breath and slowly releasing down. Opposite hand on top as you pop your head, your forehead to your hands. So if airplane variation felt good to you, I'm going to encourage you to repeat that. If you want to go into a different variation, we'll take it into the bound version behind. So then you'll bring your hands behind the back, interlocking fingers. Rolling the shoulder blades back and down. Push pubic bone into the mat before you lift. And then lift up arms, chest, and legs. This is a nice version for the trapezius and the neck. But again, you might feel that the airplane is more spacious. One more breath. And gently releasing down. Bring your right ear to the mat. Arms can just flop next to the body. Toes in, heels out. One more round, and here you can choose the airplane, the bound version, or maybe you want to take it into Dhanurasana, which is holding of the feet. Whatever you choose, pubic bone into the floor and then lifting up. Deep breath. One more breath. And gently releasing down. Let's take it back into child's pose. And again, you can choose to have the knees open or closed, whichever feels better for you. You can have your arms in front of you, under your forehead, or next to your hips. From here, start to roll yourself up, sitting into your heels in Vajrasana. So I'd like to take us into an inversion of your choice. There's a couple of different options that you can choose. You can do rabbit pose, which is the least strenuous, moving into dolphin pose, which is the next step up, or taking it into a headstand, which should only be practiced if your neck is capable of taking yourself into a headstand. If you've never done one, rather wait until we can have face-to-face classes before trying headstand. So to demonstrate, rabbit pose is holding the back of the heels, tucking the chin to the chest, and lifting the hips up. The head almost hovers off the floor, and you round your back, round your shoulders. You'll hold that for about 5 breaths at a time, and then lower down into child's pose in between. Dolphin pose, elbows to the floor, crossing hands to hold onto the outer edge of the triceps. So that's quite important. Palms come together in a prayer shape. Tucking toes, lifting hips up and back, and then working your chest towards your thighs. For less intensity, feet come wider. For more intensity, feet come closer together. Try not to drop your head down here. You really need to push the shoulders up and back. And again, hold for maybe 5 to 10 breaths at a time, seeing how that feels, and rest into child's pose in between. We want about 15 breaths in total. If you are confident in your headstand and you've done them before, you're going to do the same alignment as you did with dolphin, but this time interlocking fingers, bringing one baby finger in front of the other. Tuck chin to chest, hold the back of the skull, lifting the legs up and walking the feet in. You can float the knees to the chest. This is half headstand. You can stay here, or you can gradually make your way up into full headstand. So choosing rabbit, dolphin, or headstand, and we're aiming for a total of 15 breaths in the pose. So if you rest in between, that's fine. Come back up to complete all 15 breaths. When you are ready to come down, you slowly lower yourself with control, and everyone can meet in child's pose. And I'd suggest either bringing the hands under the forehead or next to the hips to relax your shoulders. Slowly lifting yourself back up. Going to swing your legs out in front of you. And making your way to lie down on your back. So you can do a core roll if your hip flexors and core feel up to it. Otherwise just lie flat down without doing a core roll. So often in our inversions, the lower back takes a bit of strain, especially if we're not in the correct alignment. So just to counter any possibility of that, let's take knees into chest. And then bringing the feet into happy baby. Sometimes it feels nice to roll. Sometimes it feels better to hold still. Just figure out which of those movements suits you. Coming back to center, just extend through one leg as you draw the other heel in towards the perineum. Rotate the bent knee wide. And then over to the other side, extending the opposite leg. Knee towards perineum, heel towards perineum rather. Open the knee wide. Stretching those adductors, inner thighs. Coming back to center, draw both knees into the chest. Coming into a reclining twist of your choice. I'm choosing eagle twist today, but maybe you want to stick with a single or double leg. Opening the arms to the sides and exhale to drop the knees. Move into a place of stillness, into surrender and release. Returning to your center, unwrap the legs and switch to the other side. Taking a deep breath in and exhale as you drop into your twist. Let's inhale to center, unwrap your legs, hug your knees into your chest for one last time. And then lying into Shavasana. Bringing your feet to the edges of the mat. Get your hips square, get your shoulders square. And remember to put a blanket or a jersey back on if that will help you to relax. So our Shavasana is one of the very few opportunities we get in our day where our expectation is to be relaxed. With the eyes softly closed and the breath natural and calm. Keep your mind focused on the relaxation process as you melt through layer after layer, sinking down into a warm, supported space. slowly start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Feeling your belly rise and fall. Gently running your thumb over the tips of your fingers, moving your toes, ankles and wrists, drawing your legs together and sliding the arms overhead, taking a deep stretch as you yawn or sigh. Bending your knees and rolling onto your side. Keeping your eyes closed as you lift into a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra. We'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times. Taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising your hands to your third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, to your mat, bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open, inhaling to lift. Namaste.